Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you may be. Welcome back to the Rainbow Pitch League, where we have some Week 3 action here. My name is Kiki. I'm with...
Hi, I'm Elaine.
And today we have one of our favorites from the previous season coming back. We have Summer, once again playing Azalea for the very last time in a tournament. That doesn't make sense. Close enough, you get it. And we have a newcomer to the league, I think. At least hasn't been featured on a feature match before. We have Mia, who is on Verdance. So, noted ranger lover Elaine, how do you think this match is gonna go?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Yeah. I just woke up. I don't know. I wasn't prepared for that question. I should have been, because it is like the obvious question to ask.
Well, you know, how about we just find out? So with that being said, we're going to move on to the next game. Not the next game, this game, to see how it goes, but not before a quick word from our sponsors. Stop the video.
Stop the video.
We all have cards that we find valuable, be it emotionally or monetarily. And I know as card game players, we love to protect our cards. And that's why when it comes time for me to grade my cards, there's nobody that I trust more than Premier Card Grading. PCG, just like the game that we all love, is homegrown from a small country at the bottom of the world, but is now global and available for everyone to enjoy. With a sleek, minimalist design, metal labels, and a crystal clear case, PCG graded cards just feel luxurious. Me personally, I got my gold foil graded. It just is a reminder of my accomplishments in the game. And also a reminder that one of the guys in charge of the company walked away with a first place trophy. For us 5 players specifically, they have player slabs, which is the perfect way to get your equipment all nice and shiny and protected so you can still be flashy as heck showing off your gold foils. PCG has been a huge sponsor of our league, and this is their 3rd time supporting us and providing their services to our community. We're so very thankful for PCG for their sponsorship of our league, and if you are too, please make sure to check out all of their services across the United States, Europe, Oceania, and Asia. So once again, thank you PCG for the sponsorship. And we are back here with some Week 3 action, Round 3 action here on the Rainbow Pitch League. We have Summer on the left playing Azalea with that fancy League That Means Nothing playmat, and on the right we have Mia, who's playing Verdance.
Sorry, I'm wrestling my cat. It looks like Summer is going to go first here on the play. Turn 0. Loading an arrow in the arsenal.
So the arrow we have there is the Bolton Shot. Conveniently, Summer likes the fancier kind of thing. So the red Bolton Shot coming from Gem Pack 2 will be the full art ones, and the ones that aren't full art, I believe, are yellow, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, is that part of the game where I can't tell what the card is?
Yeah, I was about to say,
That's probably a +3, if I had to guess. For the viewers that aren't aware, we're watching this on a very small screen because of how we record this. So, like, a small window, rather. So it's kind of difficult to tell, to an extent.
Maybe it's a taking, but I don't think I can't see color.
That could be right. Considering there are no tokens being suggested at the moment. Of course, there's no attack in play at the moment as well. But I think we're safe to assume it's probably +3.
+3. Most Rangers starter action cards are. Oh, and we are getting this.
I lagged a bit, so we're gonna catch up real quick to the board state, and that kind of looks like we have another Bolton Shot being searched for with that Knock the Death Whistle.
Oh yes, a knock. An Octodeth Whistle. I thought you were calling the Octodeth the Whistle another Bolton shot. That's definitely incorrect.
I struggle with some.
But I missed the second Bolton shot that is on top of the quiver. Nice, a good shuffle. So we have this Bolton shot coming in for 7.
It looks like she was very content with the Bolton shot, but she just wanted to make sure that it was definitely going to hit. But we were reaching for the tokens. Maybe we were wrong about that not being a lace width or something, but no, it looks like the tokens are going away, and I believe they're just trying to find a way to represent their life totals on screen to each other, as they are both using their phones for their own life totals currently.
Bolton shot, this obviously also has go again from the card that is buffing it. That might be a take game. And Bolton shot's ability, if this card's base is greater, if this card's attack is greater than its base, it gets go again, and on hit, reload. This is getting +3, coming in for 7, go again, threatening and on hit. And
yeah, the fact that she chose to find the the dominated Bolton shot suggests to me that there is another attack that she definitely wants to attack with this turn. Like, doesn't want to necessarily use the bullseye braces that she has access to. So giving this dominate is definitely a way to make sure this arrow will hit, despite the fact that it does cost you your very powerful Knock the Death Whistle utility in the late game. So you'll see if that comes up later on, if she's like in need of a certain kind of arrow for a specific time. But of course, with like codexes in the deck, I presume, you'll have access to more arrows later on in the game as well. Seek and Destroy. That card was Seek and Destroy. And of course, the ranger player would have dice that go up to 23. And it looks like we're getting the Codex of Frailty here. This one I do recognize. We're getting the Frailty token and the Pono token shown. They're both guaranteed at this
that's
point.
what the tokens. The tokens were just foreshadowing for the codex. The turn 0 codex.
Kind of exposing her hand a little bit there. And like what I really like about this codex is on the previous attack, Mia was blocking with an Autumn's Touch, which is notably an awful arsenal. So the codex forcing that into the kind of arsenal zone means that it's going to be very difficult to kind of hit the decompose on turn 1 the following turn. But for now, we're just content with another Bolton shot for, I think, 4.
Well, at least from the Seek and Destroy, the arsenal will be cleared, because as you said, that Autumn's Touch is not a fun thing to have in Arsenal as a Verdance player. So maybe in a weird way, the Seek and Destroy kind of helps out with that. Clearing the arsenal, right?
Yeah. I can't tell if that...
but it looks like it...
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
There's some lagging on the screen. I can't tell if that was like the video itself or if it's just like things struggling. So if you do see lagging on the screen, I'm sorry. To the viewer.
Mia is going to draw up for her first turn, and we'll see what she can come back with. I think a turn 0 of, as a Azalea player, giving your opponent an on-hit, a frailty token, and pushing damage through is just about everything that you would want to do.
Mm-hmm. I have to agree. Like, as much as it is not great to kind of use your Knock the Death Whistle and get like a Bolden Shot out of your deck, it was damage, right? Like 4 damage unpreventable functionally isn't anything to sneeze at. You kind of took every card from Mia's hand to kind of prevent her from being able to sculpt it almost, just because she doesn't want to take all this damage, because there will be more dominated hours in the future. I can promise that. And that looks like a Cadaver's Telling there, pitching 2 reds and a blue. I think that's a Scour, a Felling, and something else, but if I'm reading that dice correctly, it also says 6 on it. So this is a blue Cadaver's Telling here, coming in for 6 power.
You have better eyes than me.
I did conveniently also edit the video, so I know some secrets. And here we have that 6 damage coming through, somewhere down to 34. Vanilla damage functionally. Wait, no, this wasn't decomposed. This has to be a red one. Sorry, my bad. This was a red Cadaver's Telling. With no decomposition in sight.
With no right, so its base is 6.
Yeah. This is the second time in 2 weeks I've commentated a game that's featured Azalea and Verdance in these exact spots, I believe, as well, in terms of left and right. And in the previous week, there was blue Cadaver's Telling, so I'm probably just mixing my thoughts up in there.
Just a happy little accident.
So I would assume we're moving to the end step here.
Yeah, I believe we're just talking about how that Seek and Destroy would impact the arsenal.
And in this case, favorably. You do not want that Autumn's Touch in that arsenal. You want Earth cards in the discard pile. So, kind of almost happy to see that Seek and Destroy there if you're Mia.
It will definitely help so that in the future we will see some decomposing being done.
Meanwhile, we have another Azalea activation here.
Oh, is this foreshadowing? Yeah. Oh, wait. No. Maybe there's just a drill shot dominate.
Now, I did promise there was going to be more dominated arrows. I forgot that it was immediately the next turn. And, okay, that one looks like the first card. I think that's a Seek and Destroy again.
It does look similar to the first card. I'm staring at it. That's another thing. Ranger art is just so dark. Sometimes. No, does that look like the first one?
Okay, no, we were wrong. Okay. That's probably a lace of lace with frailty, if I had to guess.
Lace with frailty. Lace with frailty. I think it is. It is a dark card with like green glow on it, and it looks like it could be that.
Well, the one with a frailty token on it, I assume.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the middle card is.
Seek and Destroy?
I thought it was a lace with inertia, but we're not seeing the inertia on hit being represented in the same way as the lace with frailty. So
yeah, Summer does a really good job of like making it very clear what everything is. Like, she has her damage dice, she has her dominate token, she's got a Snapdragon Scalers on the chain here.
It could be a call in the big guns. I think it kind of looks maybe like a call in the big guns, but Summer refused or didn't put an arrow from hand face up in the arsenal because the drill shot was an arsenal. So it's just giving +3 to this next attack, which I think would make sense because we're getting
just the frailty token there. And yeah, Call the Big Gun's been a super powerful card for Azalea decks to play with for that very brief time where they're not, where she was legal, I guess. Now, I've quickly noted that the Crown of Providence is -1 from that drill shot. I've just put that on there because it's kind of difficult to see where the dice is at on that Crown of Providence. So it's not a lingering effect, there just is a dice on there, and it's just to kind of show what that dice is. It looks like we're coming in for 8 damage once again. I say once again as if this happened before, but I don't think so. But this is the...
Is this a Heat Street Seeker?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. I was going to say Blaze Headlong, which is not the right card.
Just looks like a read the glide path into a Heat Seeker, which read the glide path, of course, pumps and lets you op. And then Heat Seeker is when this hits at the beginning of your end phase, put the top card of your deck face up into your arsenal. So I think it, plays really well off that read the glide path, the op.
For sure. You know exactly what's going in the arsenal. In this case, incidentally, I believe she flicked the card up, and I think it was another read the glide path, which is a great way to start your turn next turn. Gives you a card to kind of look at the top card, see if you want to Azalea potentially. Yeah, and it's also, this Heatseeker is a really interesting card with New Horizons. So we see that we don't see Skullbound Crosswrap in play. We're not getting that option to kind of opt the top card of your deck using the Skullbone Crosswrap to ensure your Azalea triggers, but instead it means if that Heatseeker hits and there's a card in hand, we can double Arsenal, which is a pretty exciting thing to do. Pretty tantalizing option for Azalea players.
It looks like Mia's turn is just going to be a draw up and pass back to Summer. And we have a Bolton shot loaded in Arsenal, I believe, with that. With the read the glide path. Sorry, my cat tried to knock my mic over. Into a knock the death whistle. Look at this. I know Ranger cards.
I mean, surely, they haunt your dreams, I have to admit. So,
yeah.
Speaking of haunting...
Oh, an endless arrow.
That's a terrible recurring nightmare to have, an Azalea player just throwing the same arrow at you over and over again. Now, I did mention the non-full art Bolton shots aren't the red ones, so, not the most impactful arrow to have in the arsenal, so thankfully we have this Knock the Death Whistle. Thankfully, if you're a Summer fan or an Azalea fan, we have this Knock the Death Whistle here. You know what I just realized about this event as well?
Yeah.
Like, when your favorite heroes are nearly at their living legend life, right? You tend to stop cheering for them almost, because you don't want them to hit those living legend points. This event doesn't have living legend points. And Azalea's already reached that mark. So you can unashamedly cheer for Azalea if you like.
Yeah, I won't, but I'm just joking.
You're not joking.
I love all of our players equally and all the heroes in our league I do not love equally. But we've got a release the tension into Lace with Inertia, into that endless arrow, making this like a massive endless arrow. And endless arrow is such a passive card, right? This is definitely one that you don't want to hit, but 13 damage is a lot to deal with.
And when it has Dominate, it's really hard to stop it from hitting.
Yeah.
That Release the Tension once again being a 0-cost 3-pump with no other text. There are no cards in Arsenal to prevent the defense reactions from in this case, so... In this case, +3 is still good enough. +3 means that you're likely to keep this endless arrows around.
Again, with the Dominate, it's almost guaranteed. This is also a card that I've always, disliked, but as a Gravy player, it's the bane of my existence.
It's like the only way Azalea can have any sort of chance into board state ally heroes, basically.
Yeah, it just really wrecks them.
As a Prism player, I get it. I get it.
had a very silly game with Endless Arrow against an Endless Arrow as a Kirby player that I won't get into now, but it was pretty silly.
You'll have to tell me sometime, but for the meantime, there's a mental block. For those who are less familiar with the card, you can discard it to prevent 2 damage or your next 2 damage, and should you prevent damage with it, you get to create a ponder token as well, which will be a little bit of interesting back and forth with that inertia token that's kind of in there. But it looks like the damage was accepted. We had 1 from the arms, 2 from the chest, 3 from the card, the actual action card that was blocked with, and then the mental block, and then also the -1 on the attack as well. So I think that was 4 damage taken, but either way, Mia is on 25. I double checked all the math when doing this. That's the correct number. And that dice magically flipped to the right number. Wrong equipment. And we finally get to see Mia with a offensive hand. It's just a matter of...
let's see.
Here we go, that's a Heartbeat of Spring. A fantastic card for Verdance, obviously, gaining 3 instances of 1. If her hero ability was turned on, we had the full 8 soil count. That would also deal 3 instances of arcane damage individually, kind of like Rune Chance, but instead, we're just getting gain 3 and then deal 2. Ranger players, or rather Azalea, specifically not known for having many resource cards in their deck, Summer's able to just prevent 1 of that damage with the 1 AB that she has. And here we're having Summer explaining the interaction between the inertia and the ponder, just to explain how it works, and letting Mia know how she gets to potentially keep a card to arsenal despite the inertia.
Yep. I do believe that's usually always the right choice.
But we have seen something like a mental block in Mia's deck, like in the previous turn nonetheless. So there's a non-zero chance that she doesn't want to arsenal the card if it's like, say, a mental block, or if you're so bold to play like a Heart of Fyendal, which I have done in my Verdance decks in the past.
Looked like maybe like it was an Aether Arc, if I had to guess from the little we could see of it.
But it's in the arsenal now.
Right. It's probably, if it was an Aether Arc, maybe not the best card to have in an arsenal, but just like a blue 1 damage arcane spell. But looks like back on Summer's side, I think that's another call. It's Big Gun.
Declining the reload, choosing to just pitch away the Codex of Frailty so she can draw a card with the Death Dealer, suggesting to me that maybe she didn't have enough damage pumps in her hand to make this Heatseeker feel threatening. Immediately reaching for the tokens, just to show what we've got here.
Just keep lacing up all these arrows. This one, of course, is a lace with Blood Rot, so again, giving +3 and the on-hit of a Blood Rock's Pox token. That's a good card. I mean, effectively,
it's
potentially pushing. Sorry.
It's like a 0 for 5, right? Like, it's a 0 for 5 that the opponent can, like, Arcane Barrier, quote unquote, with 3 resources to prevent 2 damage. Those are some good numbers. They're all favorable if you're the Azalea player. And Command & Conquer, a great card to play into Rangers normally, so Summer has to be stoked to see that being defended with there.
yeah, it makes me curious what the rest of Mia's hand looks like because, like as you said, it's such a good card to play into Rangers, and it does look like summer is going to end with an arsenal here. Because from what I can tell, the Heat Seeker does not have go again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll end up with the double arsenal potentially as well. And here we see the reason why she was tanking so long. Like, that card maybe we didn't want in the arsenal, but that Crown of Providence does mean you get to replace it and draw a different card. We have defense reactions here as well. The hand maybe was very, like, red heavy, potentially. Maybe a lot of reactions. Or maybe she just wants to keep, like, a blue and then send back a card. We do get the hit for 3. We get the Bloodrot Pox. And we are going to Summer's End step. Yes. And here we see the double arsenal action with the Heat Seeker, thanks to the New Horizon. Letting someone play a 6-card hand, and that Command and Conquer would have been real good right about now, potentially. Maybe she has another one.
Right, yeah. That would be very convenient. Are you a foreshadowing game editor? I'm joking.
I actually don't remember.
But we wouldn't ruin it anyway. A felling is really good also.
A felling is definitely quite good. Like, you know, this still forces a card out of Summer's hand. This one's only for 4. The lack of an early decompose has really kind of taken away some of the oomph that this felling could have. But we are getting the decomposition now at the very least. And it looks like we're getting 2 earths and a non-earth, bringing the soil count to 2.
Yeah, Mia finally able to get some cards in the Vanish zones, which is really good.
Mm-hmm. Now, you weren't here last week when we recorded the week 2 one. You were off in Singapore. Scott did not necessarily approve of the term soil count. They weren't too thrilled about it. But I made them do it anyway. And as they brought up in last week, these decompose cards, once you've kind of gotten the effect from them, like, they're functionally vanillas after that point, so some are more than happy to take the vanilla damage here, letting her life total drop to below 30 for the first time in this game, getting to keep just a 5-card hand because of the double arsenal.
Yeah, and it looks like Mia did take the damage from the Bloodrot Pox to get.
Is that Scout the Periphery? No.
I think so.
Yes?
No, it's
something that's like the top card of your deck.
Yes, it's something. Right, it is a card that
It gives +3 and then maybe has another effect.
and it has some op, but it can't be that because that would be Read the Glide Path.
What it does here, most importantly, is add 3 damage to this big attack. Once again, the Release the Tension not having a second line attacks with no card in Arsenal, but does add the all-important +3.
Rangers do love to add +3.
Arrow, not 3. Everything else, 3. Viewers can't see, I just gave a thumbs up. And that is 8, I believe, defending with. There's a Scour, there's a Fruits of the Forest, yum yum, and then I think it was another Wizard Blue that's been thrown in front. So perhaps Mia just wants to have an arsenal again. It's been a long time. Misses having access to that card down the bottom. And we are contemplating... Oh, that's not Fruits of the Forest. I'm wrong. Oh no, that's added to the top of it, I can't see. There we go. So, Rootbound Carapace, we're getting that soil count to 5, 3 earth cards hitting the banished zone, rather. And now we're looking at 12 on 13, I believe, if my math is correct. Summer's just been relentless so far in this game. Throwing all these double-digit attacks. Not really giving me a chance to have a hand. Going into these games last week, watching the same matchup, I thought that the Verdance might have a better chance, like with all of their disruption and, you know, like with the Command and Conquers, the Fellings, the Plow Hunters. I thought they'd have more ways to kind of stop this train of damage coming through, but for the meantime, it looks like it's just kind of not effective if you're being forced to block with those cards.
Yeah, it is really difficult. Mia has had a hard time because, I mean, Summer is just, like you said, Summer has just been relentless, throwing these really large on-hit arrows, as Azalea does, and soil count is at 5. Mia's still at 20 life. Like, there potentially is some time in this game for Mia to turn Verdance's hero ability on and start gaining some life and doing some damage. Mm-hmm. So maybe the 20 is not a bad spot to be in at this point in the game, but Summer just keeps throwing these big arrows. We've got another one coming in for 11 with it's definitely a lace with inertia and a lace with frailty.
And Summer signifies she's done, you know, that's it. Just 11. 2 on hits. The frailty not really counting as an on hit at this point. The 11 damage is huge. Now the red on the ledger effect, not necessarily the most effective against Verdance, as I described earlier, kind of an action point starved hero, tends to only take 1 action in a turn. Maybe uses the Waning Moon, which is an instant, so that's fine as well. But 11 damage being, what, 55% of your life total at the moment is huge.
Yeah. You and those percentages. So...
It's easy when it's 20.
Always have them. Yeah.
And we see a grocery list of triggers and tokens appear on the right side of the screen there. And yeah, there was that kind of 2-guard hand. There was the Felling, which Mia really kind of needs to get back into this game. Like, if she could resolve that, then she'd get her soil count to 8, be able to flip that hero over, get the full card text, and try to claw her way back into the game. But she just valued having 6 more life, which when you're in 20 is not unreasonable. It's very scary. And there's I can't.
Oh, wow, I love this. I wish this happened every game. I'm sure the players don't, but this is nice.
I mean, Summer was also loving it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I remember editing that part and being like, I feel like you'd relate to this moment, considering how often your cat shows up on various recordings.
Oh, my cat.
And there he was.
Has been recacking, yeah.
At the start of the recording, even. Not that people saw it, but just trust.
He finally, went to go lay back down and go back to sleep, but I've been fending off the cat this entire time. So we have a Rain Razors coming down. This is our first Rain Razors of the game, but a card you do not want to see, especially at 15 life.
Mm-hmm. 15 life and a go again arrow being the one that's put into the arsenal with that Death Dealer. I have to assume that there's another tag coming out of this. There's no way Summer's just content with 5 damage go again, pass. At the very least, we do see the bullseye bracers as an option here as well. So,
yeah, still with 3 cards in hand too. We'll definitely be seeing more coming down. Wouldn't it be nice if it was just 5 pass? We are a block with Cadabras, Billy.
And a plow under. It looks like a root-bound carapace in her hand. But we're getting... Yep, Summer's like 5. You blocked 5, that's fine. We're going to move on to the next arrow now. So there's a Call the Big Guns. Call in the Big Guns? Call the Big Guns? Big Guns were called.
Call in the Big Guns. The Big Guns, they have been called. Call in the Big Guns, and is... What was that? Was that an infecting
Drill shot.
Drill shot.
So I have to imagine we're going to see a block with the chest piece. There you go. Just because that chest piece wasn't going to do anything after this anyway. Well, it could. It could. You can block with it when it's on 0 later on. But me choosing to get the value here instead. A root-bound carapace brings this total up to 5, assuming we're getting the decomposition. And we're completing that 2-3-3 combo there. There's the last 3 earth cards needed to go. And we can flip over that Verdance token to the front side. She has text now.
Beautiful. She has text now. She does something. Soil count is finally at 8.
And we're getting another mental block as well. So we don't get to make use of the Earth Embodiment token that's produced here, so there's no need to bring that up, but we are getting a defending total of 7 on 7, 8, 9.
9.
I forgot about the Rain Razors.
Yep, Rain Razors on 9.
But of course, no on hit there. I think this is me suggesting that you could put the -1 counter on Storm Striders if you like. And once again, Mia's left without a hand. Yeah, kind of have to think at what point are you just happy to take some damage if it means you can throw some stuff back. She does get the Ponder token, thankfully, so the hand was very defensive, admittedly, not very much pressure, but at some point do you have to kind of ask, when do you take damage to throw stuff back? And when you're in 13, an arrow can be 13, as we've seen in previous turns.
An arrow, has been 13, I think, more than once throughout the game, and this is laced with blood rot, I believe, that just went down. Which is just we said, oh my gosh, another Rain Razor's a dominated arrow. And that's the difficult part, at some point you do have to take damage to be able to throw something back, but when the arrows have as many on hits as we've seen throughout this game, it's really hard to justify taking damage. Taking damage to throw some back and accepting all of these powerful on hits.
For sure. And
a double fate.
That Ponder token really coming in clutch in the previous turn, giving her the Fate Foreseen token. Keen-eyed viewers may have noticed that, I think this is the point of the game, I missed it, that the Rain Razors came from Arsenal face down despite the Bolden Shot being face up because of New Horizon, and I think because of the Azalea activation that put it in. Technically it shouldn't have been possible, but there was just a slight missequence, and the play turns out fine regardless, so don't worry, it's okay.
We were able to full block a pretty nasty dominated arrow, and giving the second Rain Razors we've seen really no gas, which is quite nice here. 2-card hand. It looks like that's just an Autumn's Touch, but we do have a Ponder token, so Mia can end with an Arsenal again.
These mental blocks doing a great job of being able to get around the Dominate and also still make sure that she has plays for future turns, whether it be defensively or offensively. But 5 vanilla damage is going to be happily accepted by Summer, asking for the bill, ready to take it, and proceed on to the next part of the evening. Is that a weird analogy? I don't know.
Understood what you were saying. Yeah. Weird or not, it works.
Azalea's the type to go to a bar after dinner, surely.
I think so, yeah. Azalea definitely keeps the party going, as we have seen with these arrows after arrows after arrows.
And if there's one arrow that keeps the party going, it's surely Bolden Shot.
It's surely Bolden Shot. Is that a Seek and Destroy?
You know, it could be.
Maybe.
It was much easier to tell what the arrows were when I could hear the players telling me, coincidentally.
What they were, yeah.
And I'm like, surely I'll remember this stuff. And then, as you've seen, I don't remember.
I think it might be a Seek and Destroy. It is hard to tell, but it just feels too similar to that very first card that we had no clue what it was, and it was a Seek and Destroy.
You'd think after, 2 years of watching Azalea games, we'd know by now. That's just not the life we live.
Nope. We have, Azalea is quite popular here at RXPM.
And noted Ranger players Kiki and Elaine definitely know all of the cards.
All of the cards.
What we do know is that this Bolden Shot is threatening an on-hit here. But of course it just has the go again anyway, and there's still access to the Bullseye Braces. Defending for 7 is potentially a 3-card ask, which is not a question you really want to answer if you're Mia.
Yeah, and if Mia has a really good card in this arsenal, it might be the time when Mia would want to be able to play it out, but at 13 life, when this arrow is coming in for 7, it's not the one that you can just let hit to take some damage to throw something back. It's just too big. But unfortunately, at the same time, I'm not sure that Azalea throws smaller arrows than 7. But if you block with your whole hand, still to take some damage from Seek and Destroy, you're not going to have the resources to play out the card in Arsenal. It's just going to get destroyed anyway. So it does seem like we want to keep it there as long as possible.
What I do like, it does force someone to just have 3 arrows, or force her to use the Bullseye Bracer there, you have to wear through this equipment, all these bonuses in some way, at some point. So why not now, I guess. Yellow Bolden Shot being potentially the perfect card here. Unless Mia has a 4 defense reaction here, then this Bolden Shot is going to hit. It gets the +1 from that Bullseye Braces, so we're gonna maybe see another arrow, considering that Summer didn't buff this one up. But Mia just asking her, do you have another arrow here? Takes 1 point of damage here, and we are seeing a Death Dealer activation. And it's a Heat Seeker, once again, just making sure that Summer just has more gas for the next turn. This damage train does not stop. We're using the Tunic as well to get this Heat Seeker hit in. I believe there's no way to stop this from hitting, which means that Summer is potentially going to end up with a 2-card arsenal once again.
Yeah, the Summer has just been full pedal to the metal this entire game. Foot on the gas, no brakes.
And I can't tell. Oh, that's a Codex of Blood Rot, I think. But either way, there's 2 cards in that arsenal, and yeah, like you said, right, like all this damage has been continuously going. Mia hasn't had a chance to really disrupt it, even with like the felling of the crown. She wasn't able to disrupt it. Has been forced to block with plowhunters and fellings, and it's just kind of a tough spot to be in.
Yeah. I believe that it's a Codex of Inertia, it looks like to me.
Actually, yeah, I think I agree. That's not blood rot at all whatsoever.
It looks too blue, I think.
You know, actually thinking about it, I think this was the line I was talking about, where cards are missequenced. So if you heard me say that before, ignore that. It's going to happen here. So here we have that Azalea activation. Technically, there's now only one arsenal slot here, so the top card wouldn't go into the arsenal. But conveniently, as I've spoiled, there's a Rain Razors in that other slot, so you can kind of activate that before you play that before you activate the Azalea, and everything will be fine. You know, and we can't enforce retroactively anyway. But this is 12 damage with Dominate, and in case the game isn't over, this has an on hit and go again.
This is a gross arrow,
yeah.
12 damage, dominate, but it also with the blood rot box, effectively threatening 14 damage here, which is twice Mia's life total.
There we go, 200%.
200% of Mia's life total right here, that the zeros represent.
Mm-hmm. With 1 card in hand as well.
Yeah, I would say that this is pumped enough to have go again.
You'd have to do a lot of damage reduction to stop this having go again. And I think Mia kind of sees the writing on the wall here. Oh, we're getting a bit desperate. We're getting a bit desperate. We're using the life mode on the pulsing Eaton from arsenal and from hand to go up to 9.
Well, it's no longer 200% now.
It's not, and I guess it's like 133%. We're getting the defense reaction for 4 here, taking the damage down to 8, meaning that Mia will be left on 1 here. 3 cards in hand, not able to stop any more of the damage here because of the Dominate. And like I said, like, we're getting the go again here. We're getting the on hit to maybe play another arrow. And
the blood rot box is lethal if you can't do anything about it. If Mia has to throw the last cards in hand at this to not take 1 damage, you gotta take 2 on your turn anyway.
I thought Summer was kind of playing with her opponent a bit by putting the card in the arsenal, before I remember that's literally how the card works. That you have to put into the arsenal first, technically. We are getting a 2-card defense here, and Mia is saying that she can't pay for the blood rot box. So that will be round 3 action here on the Rainbow Pitch League. We will see you in the post-match catch-up. And welcome back to seeing our beautiful faces. That was dominant, I guess, for lack of a better word. I should have thought of one in the little break we had. But yeah, Summer, like you mentioned, just did not let her foot off the gas. There were no breaks, as you said.
Yeah, showing why Azalea has the nickname Dami Mommy for sure. I mean, like, just constant big arrow after big arrow with so many on hits. And Mia just like committing, I think, to preserving life earlier in the game and not really ever seeing a window to kind of get off of that plan of just like blocking. Never really got to be in the driver's seat, which was unfortunate. For
sure. Like, we saw a lot of the power cards that we wanted to see, the disruptive cards, the Command and Conquers, the Plowhunters being defended with. And, like, maybe there's a decision point where you can choose to take some more damage to play those cards, but then also, like, the further the game goes, the harder it is to not block those arrows. And Summer did a great job of making sure that she always had the option to play attacks. Like, we didn't see one of those famous Azalea off turns where you've drawn all arrows or all non-attack actions. And I think there was one turn where she played 3 arrows in a turn. I can't remember now. But yeah, like, she made the most of having too many arrows by being able to pitch them into the Death Dealer, just to kind of make sure she has more gas going and stuff and isn't just stuck holding 3 cards that she can't play. So really well done on her part to just keep her foot on the where did we use that one? Just to not relent, I guess, right?
Yeah, really, really well played. Yeah, so that is week 3 of the Rainbow Pitch League. And we have 4 more weeks to go, and then top 8 after that. So keep your eye out every week for new game, new content, new players.
And maybe some old ones, you know.
Maybe some old ones.
The fact that we've seen what the next round is already and stuff, and I think we're technically in week 5 as we're recording this. We do have some exciting matchups coming up for you, with the next one being Katsu, which I'm very excited for, with the new Armory deck Ira coming out, really bolstering Katsu's deck. We have one Katsu player in the league, and we've got her on the next match, so I don't actually know the result for that one, but I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah.
And then for Warrior fans, there's also Fang coming up in the near future.
My eyes lit up. Warrior. All right. I'm excited for that, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess this is where we should wrap it up, right? So make sure you follow us. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at RainbowXPitch on both. And till then, we will see you all next time. So goodbye.